I'd like to share with you a story that happened 4 years ago. I was living in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I was studying in the kollel of Yeshiva Gedolah of Bridgeport. The Rosh Kollel, Rabbi Simcha Bunenberger, every Friday would come and he would say a beautiful in-depth shiur on the parasha. For years, I know him since I'm 17, he was giving the shiur for every single week, the Midin Kesidran. He would always say this beautiful shiur that he had on the parasha. One week, in this week's parasha, Parashat Bo, 4 years ago, he walks into the Bet Midrash with a huge smile from ear to ear, and he says, I have a question. Anybody who's going to answer this question, $100. Everybody in the call sits there, is like, $100 for a question? Well, it's probably a piece of cake. What type of question? We can answer anything. That's what everybody's thinking. What type of question could it be? And the rabbi sits down and he presents the following question. He says, we know that the makot, Dab, Tzadeh, Kenim, Arov, last week's parasha, every single makah, every single plague, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe ahead of time what the makah is going to be, and then Moshe went to warn Paro. Not every makah did Moshe actually warn Paro, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe what the makah is. At least you should know what to do. We start off this week's parasha, and it doesn't say anywhere that Hashem told Moshe what the makah is going to be. So the question is, Moshe went to warn Paro and he says, you're going to get arbe. How does he know? Who told Moshe Rabbeinu? Where did Moshe Rabbeinu know? So Rabbi Berger looked at us and he says, anybody who answers this question, $100. And he says, let me give you a hint. This just tells us that the question is even harder. It's in the first pasuk of this week's parasha. Happens to be there's also an answer. There's many answers to this question, but there is an answer from the second pasuk too. But in the first pasuk, I want an answer. This is what Rabbi Berger says. You have 5 minutes to answer the question. Find the answer within 5 minutes. Everybody's looking. And Baruch Hashem, after 4 minutes, I was able to find an answer in the pasuk. It says in the first pasuk of this week's parasha, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe bo el Paro, ki ani ichbadati et libo ve'et lev avadav, leman shiti ototai ele bekirbo. Hashem tells Moshe, come to Paro, because I strengthened his heart and the heart of his servants in order to be able to place these makot on him. I want to give him these makot. If we look at the end of the pasuk, it says, Leman shiti ototai ele bekirbo. If we take the last two words, ele bekirbo, and the last letter of the word ototai, which is the third to last word of the pasuk, ototai ele bekirbo, and we unscrabble them, we will get the words yilku, they will get lashed ba'arbe, with the makah of arbe. Let's do it. Leman shiti ototai, the letter yud, yilku. Lamed from the word ele. Ku from the word bekirbo, and vav from the last word of the pasuk, from the last letter of the pasuk, bekirbo. Yilku, that's one word. Ba'arbe, we need a bet, aleph, resh, bet, he. Bekirbo, bet. Aleph from the word ele. Resh from the word bekirbo. Resh. Bet from the second to last letter of the word bekirbo. And he ba'arbe. The he from the word ele. All the letters unscrabbled beautifully. So, after 4 minutes and a couple of seconds, I tell Rabbi Berger, I found an answer. I want $100. I tell him the answer and he says, not the answer. That's not the answer. But Baruch Hashem, that's an amazing answer. If we look at this pasuk, it's going to read like this. Hashem tells Moshe, Bo el Paro, come to Paro. Ken yichbadati et libo ve'et lev avada, because I strengthened the heart of Paro and the heart of his servants. Leman shiti otot, in order to place otot, I want to put miracles upon him. Yilku ba'arbe. In order for them to get these otot, they're going to have to get arbe. The pasuk reads like this. Rabbi Berger says, very nice, it's worth $50, but 100 not. So what's the answer that Rabbi Berger was suggesting? There was a rabbi called Rabbi Shimshon Mastropoli. Rabbi Shimshon Mastropoli says, we know that the letters of Aleph Bet come from different areas in our mouth. Some from the mouth, from the lips, some from the teeth, some with the tongue, some from the palate, some from the throat. It's different. These letters are categorized. If you look in the PARASHA, in Masechet Brachot, and Vav Amud Bet, the Vav Amud Bet, at the end of Chidushei Agadot, the end, he categorizes these letters. The letters Bumaf, Bet, Vav, Mem, Pe are all from the lip. The letters Datlanat, Dalet, Tet, Lamed, Nun, Taf are all from the tongue. Dalet. Right? The letters Zas, Sharatz are all from the teeth. Zain, Samach, Shin, Resh, Sadeh are all from the teeth. The letters Gichak, Gimel, Yud, Chaf, Kuf are all from the palate. And the letters Aleph, Het, Ein, He are all from the throat. He says, Shimshon Mastropoli says, you're allowed to, within each group, interchange the letters. So he says, it says in the pasuk, Vayomer HASHEM el Moshe, Bo el Paro. He says, take the letters Bo and place them into Paro. Interchange them with the letters that are in Paro. So what do we have? Bet Aleph, Bo, come. El Paro, take it and put it into Paro. The letter Bet is in the category with the letter Pe, Bu Maf, Bet Vav Mem Pe. They're interchangeable. You can switch them out. Put a Bet instead. In the name of Paro, put a Bet. And then the Ein, Paro, from the last category we mentioned, Aleph, Het, Ein, He, those letters are interchangeable. So take the Aleph from the word Bo and switch it with the Ein in the name of Paro. Switch it. Now in the name of Paro, we took out the Pe and Ein, we put a Bet and an Aleph. We have the letters of Arbe. Unscramble it, and we have the letters of the word Arbe. Says, now Rav Shimshon Mastropoli, read the pasuk like this, Vayomer HASHEM el Moshe, Bo el Paro, take the letters Bo and put it in Paro. Ken yichbadati libo v'et levav, because I strengthen his heart and the heart of his servants. Leman shiti ototai ele bekirbo, because I want to place inside Paro these letters, ototai, from the letters otiyot. That's a beautiful answer from Rabbi Shimshon Mastropoli. That's the Dvar Torah for this week's parasha. So that was his answer. That was worth $100 for Rabbi Berger to give, and nobody got that answer, but we had another answer, Baruch Hashem, a big hidush, that the end of the pasuk says, Yilku ba'arbe. If you unscramble the last, 4, and ba'arbe, the last 9 letters of the pasuk, you'll get the word Yilku ba'arbe. So that's how Moshe Rabbeinu knew to warn Paro that there's going to be arbe. Last week, in the question of the week, there wasn't the question of the week this week, and not last week we didn't present the question, but we discussed the question in choshen mishpat. There were 2 brothers that inherited a house in Brooklyn, a huge house in Brooklyn that is double the size of a regular house. And they both wanted to live in it. It was an amazing, amazing area. They both wanted to live in the house, and they were fighting. One brother came up with a brilliant idea, and he said, listen, let's put a wall, and split the house, and we'll each live on one side of the house, and we'll both live in this area. It's a beautiful neighborhood. Why should we fight? We'll have a decent sized house anyways when we split it. So they went to the rabbi, and the question is, what should the rabbi say? We mentioned that there are some categories, some things that you need in order to be able to force a split a house. The other brother said, I don't want to split. I want the whole house as is. What's the kalim? What are the rules? The rules are that the Gemara in Masechet Baba Batra says that, this is all we mentioned last week. The Gemara in Baba Batra and Daf Yud Aleph brings a Mishnah that says everything that you split has to have its original name on it. What's the original name? So if it was a house, it has to remain a house. If it was a kitchen, it has to remain a kitchen. If it was a room, it has to remain a room. There are certain dimensions that define that this is a room. Once you cut a room into a certain size, you're not going to call it a room. It's just going to be a storage room, a closet. You can't call this a room anymore. Certain things that have standard sizes. The Mishnah lists the sizes for a field, for a courtyard, different sizes. Now, in this house, we mentioned it's a huge house. If you cut it in half, each side has a house. The only thing is that one side has the kitchen, and one side has the bathrooms, and one side has the dining room, one side has the living room. If you cut it in half, This guy's going to be stuck with a living room and a bathroom and a porch, and the other one's going to have a kitchen what type of house is this? It's not a house. I need to have the same usage. I want to be able to have the same usage. The Bet Yosef brings down a Nimukei Yosef B'Shem Hara'ah that says if I don't get the same usage on both sides, we can't split. So the brother says, you see, we don't have to split it because I'm not going to get the same usage on both sides. So the brother says, yeah, if you spend a couple of dollars, you'll be able to build yourself a kitchen. I'll be able to make myself a dining room. We'll be able to have a regular size, like a house in Brooklyn. It's the same size, so just we'll do some renovations. Both of us have to do it. And then Mukher Yosef B'Shem Hara'ah says, you don't have to even force the guy to spend $1. I want to split it as is. And we mentioned, there's also a Tashbetz, in Chelek Bet, Siman Kuf Nun Vav, that says, to split anything, to force to split, you split it based on what it is right now. I don't care if I can make renovations. That's my own cheshbon. It's my own thing. What I'll do right now. Can I force the split? Right now, you're not getting equal things. This guy's side is going to have windows. This side won't have windows. Therefore, we cannot split. That was the discussion of last week's shiur. This week, the question is like this. We mentioned that we need the right size. So for example, if you cut a room in half and now it's going to be closets, it's because it was a small room originally. If you cut it into two, it's just going to be a closet. You cannot force to split it for partners. Two partners, they cannot force to split it. Unless they both agreed. Why? Because they're both using now, together, an entire room. I can put a bed inside. Now if we cut it, I all of a sudden can't put a bed inside. Why can I put suitcases? What am I going to do with it? So you can say, I don't want to split. So now, the question is like this. In Eretz Yisrael, they have buildings with 3 floors. Every floor has 3 people who live in it. They all own their apartments. Every person who owns an apartment in the building owns air rights on the roof to build. Now you can build 3 apartments on the roof. 1, 2, 3. Each one of them alone, what is he going to get if you split it up? He only has a little bit of space, about the size of a room. You can't call that an apartment. So if we all divide it, you're not going to have what you originally owned. We each own the rights to build an apartment. If one guy is going to say, I want to divide it to take my own portion, what is he going to be left with? He's going to be left with a little storage room, a little room. So that everybody can say, listen, we don't want to divide such a thing. Right? But what happens if now 3 people will say, we want to partner up and build an apartment? And the other 6 say, no, we want to build. When we build, we should all build together. All 9 of us. They say, what's the problem? You guys can build. The 6 people, you will have your rights to build a beautiful 2 apartments. It's going to be the same thing. Every person gets 1/9 of the roof. 1/3 of an apartment. A third of one apartment. That's what you have. You're going to have the other 2 sides. We'll build on one side, 3 of us. The remaining 6 will go there and they'll build. We're not hurting you. The question is, can they force? Since if they would make a split and split up into 9, they don't have kedei chalukah, they don't have its original status, what it used to be. Do they have the right to say, I want to split off? Why? Because when I own a property, it comes with rights. If I may have the right to demand a split because it's got the right size, or if I don't have the right because it's too small. So I don't have the right. Therefore, in this partnership, these 9 people, they're partners in a room, and a roof. But they're partners. Their rights are that they can each say, I don't want to split. Those rights. Now if I partner up with 2 other people, and the remaining 6 are going to stay there, they can partner up, they can build whatever they want together. Can we do that? Since I don't have the rights to say, I want to force a split. Because that's not part of what my property came with. My property came with, I get only 1/9 of the room, of the roof. So I don't own, I don't have such a right. So can I make up a right by partnering up with 2 people and making up such a right? Question is, what do we do? Shevet HaLevi, and Shut Shevet HaLevi, Chelek Esem Anash Chabet, says, it's a machloket rishonim. The Maram, Merutenberg, he says, has a question. There were 2 partners. If you each own half, they can share the usage, they can both use each other's sides, and they each own half. If you split it in half, it has kedei chalukah. It's the right size. One of the partners, we'll call him Shimon, sold it to Levi and Yehuda. Now, they each own a quarter of the property, and Reuven, the original partner, has a half. Levi and Yehuda now, because they own a quarter, their size is not the right size for splitting. One day Reuven says, I want to split. And Levi and Yehuda say, no, you can't, because you're going to leave us with nothing. Says the Maharam Rothenberg, Reuven can still demand a trade, a split. He can demand to force this. I want to split this. Why can I demand it? Says the Maharam Rothenberg, you want to know why? And it's brought down in the halacha in Bet Yosef and in the Ramah in Siman Kuf Ayin Aleph, Seif Gimel. Why? Because you cannot get rights that are better than my original partner. My original partner cannot have ever told me he doesn't want to split because he owned half. He has the right size. So when he sold to you, he only sold to you what he owns. And since he sold you what he owns, so you cannot ever tell me that you don't want to split, because you never acquired rights to say no. The only time you can acquire the rights to say no is if we partnered up together. And you've got a smaller share and I got a bigger share. So now when we bought into it, since you have a smaller share and I have a bigger share, you can always tell me, no, I don't want to split. But now that you bought from somebody else that had the rights to force a split, and you could never have said no to me forcing a split, where did you get rights that are stronger than his to say no? The power of saying no. Who cares that you're a smaller size? It's a big chidush. Meram Rothenberg. Was nifsak halacha. That's the halacha. Says the Shevet HaLevi, but if you would have asked him, 1 second, just tell them, like our question, and the guys on the roof, you guys will be partners together, and together you have a half, and I have a half, so let's split, and I'll force you to stay partners on your half. Who said you all have to split one, and you got a quarter, and you got a quarter? Stay partners, and I should have the right. Why didn't the Maharam Rothenberg say that answer in order to allow me to split? He says, you want to know why? Because Maharam Rothenberg held that I cannot say that. If these 9 partners, since they don't have the right to force a split, when they partner up with 2 other guys and they want to suggest that they will build 1 apartment and the rest should partner up and have 6, he says you can't say that. Why not? Because each person has no right to say I want to split. So even if you combine 3 of them, it doesn't help. Even though now together you have a full apartment, it doesn't help. You can't force the split. So that's what the Shevet HaLevi says, you cannot force the split, according to Maharam Rothenberg. Also according to the Rambam, because in Shulchan Aruch and Seif Gimel, he says, Kol she'ilu yichalek, ve'yagia hachelek lapachot shebeim, to the person who holds the smallest size. Kefi chelek hashutafim, so that's the 5 guys, and a few of them have too small of a size, they each need to be able to get the right size of the original status, and only then we can split. That's what Shulchan Aruch writes in Siman Kuf Ayin Aleph Seif Gimel. Therefore, whenever one partner says, I want to split, it means that the whole partnership broke apart. And everybody has to be able to get the right size. And if not everybody can say, then get the right size, then the partner who has the right size, even if he has more than the rest of them, he can't say, no, you guys stay together and I'll leave. No. We're partners, the whole partnership breaks if you leave. And therefore, since if you leave, the whole partnership will break, and I won't get the right size, you can never force us to switch, to split up. And therefore, based on these opinions, the Shevet HaLevi says, the 3 people on the roof that want to split, and they want to partner up, since if you would split the entire thing into 9, neither of them will have the right size to build an apartment, therefore they cannot partner up and say, you guys have 6 and you have 2 apartments and we have 3 and we have 1 apartment. You can't say that. Or if we would split it, the whole partnership goes. And then every person will only take 1/9. That's not enough to build an apartment, and therefore you cannot split. These people on the roof, they will not be able to force a split unless the other owners would agree that they should do such a thing. לעזרת השבט